Hey, heathens. Atheists often point out some of the absolutely grotesque laws that exist in society against the non believer. We try and point out how the religious try to push and indoctrinate their beliefs over everyone else. We are often met by criticism of, "Oh, that never happens. This doesn't. No, okay, come on, give me a break." That sort of thing. And then some of us will even point out, and I will admit I'm guilty of being on the other side here slightly. I'll explain in a minute. Some of us will point out that they'll tell the theists, "Did you know that there are certain states that have laws against atheists being in political power?" I have often been on the position of, okay, sure, they have those laws, but no one would ever try to enforce them. Never. Because I realize that only an absolutely irrational, idiotic moron would try and push this ancient law into effect in today's times. The same way as it is still illegal technically for interracial couples to marry in Alabama. True, look it up. It's still, but no one will enforce this law. Interracial couples do marry in Alabama. Although in a recent Stickum Room, I covered a story where a judge did try to say that he was not going to do it. Anyway, I won't go into that whole story. With that said, I now must admit I was wrong. I've asked the question before, would you admit that you're wrong? And I always said that I would, and now I tell you, I was wrong. Apparently there are people dumb enough to actually try and enforce this law. No surprise, it's in the Bible Belt. North Carolina. Cecil Brothwell is the man's name. He was elected to city council, and it turns out that he is not a believer of any particular type of God, and we'll get to the details on that later. But there are people who are trying to challenge his election due to this particular fact. Quote, "I'm not saying that Cecil Brothwell is not a good man, but if he's an atheist, he's not eligible to serve in a public office, according to the state constitution," says H.K. Egerton, a former Asheville NAACP president. Are you serious? NAACP president? You? A man who pushes for the inclusiveness of minority people, and you are the ones pointing out that because of some obscure law, this man should not be allowed to serve? Really? Moving along. It is Article 6, Section 8 of the State Constitution of North Carolina states, "The following persons shall be disqualified for office. First, any person who shall deny the being of Almighty God." Never states which God. I suppose he could be a Pastafarian and it'd be okay. But apparently that's all it took. So because of this, that is in the state constitution, there are people who are objecting to this. And I'll let you guys read the article here. This is from Asheville, North Carolina's newspaper, the Citizen Times. And just the entire thing reeks of stupidity. I mean, it reeks of stupidity. And then I'm torn. What am I torn about? Do I think it's so dumb that it should be thrown out of court? And I'm torn because you know what? I actually think that they should carry it through. Hold on before you freak out and try and figure out what's going wrong with King Heathen. They can't possibly win. They can't. The state constitution contradicts federal law. It can't hold up. It will lose. They cannot win. So I'm thinking we encourage them to go ahead. One, they'll spend a lot of money. Two, they'll lose 3, they'll be forced to rewrite their constitution. This could set any number of states into a snowball effect of removing such absolutely absurd laws out of their legislation. Could be good. It could backfire. What do you think? Don't take my word for it. Think for yourselves.